Welcome back to Tag Team, the Pokemon Trading Card Games premier podcasting duo. My name is JW Kriewall, and I am joined by my good friend Andrew Mahone. Andrew, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great, JW. I had a really nice weekend, had a really great day. I'm just feeling good, man. How about you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Had a great weekend myself. It was good in some sense, in that I got to spend some time with family. It was bad in some sense, in that I got like a 24-hour stomach bug.
Oh no.
And I was kind of leaking, if you know what I'm saying.
I do.
So,
and I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was a tough one for sure.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, he persisted, and here we are. We got to see a big dub from the Lions. How did the Ravens do this week?
Who? Sorry, I've never heard of them.
Well, okay.
Bad. It's all bad, dude. I've had a great weekend, and one of the reasons I had a great weekend is because I did not watch that Ravens game. I read about it. It's bad. It's all bad for the Ravens right now, dude. I mean, the team's lost its identity. They're falling apart. They're injured.
I saw the injury list.
It's horrible.
It's crazy.
But then morale is also down.
Yeah.
And I think like the Ravens, more than any other team, I feel like are a team that like gets in their own heads like really bad. And I think that first loss against the Bills, in the way that they lost it in like the fourth quarter, I feel like that kind of did psychic damage to them. And then like
if they had won that game, you feel like they'd be like on the opposite end, right? Like 4-1,
different timeline,
5-0,
different timeline.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that loss, in the way that they lost it, sent them into like a death spin.
Yeah.
Like a death spiral. But now it's like I feel like there are a lot of problems with the way things are set up right now over there, and it's just all of that is kind of being like aired out and brought to the forefront now. Depth, coaching issues, all of it's being aired out. Like, why hasn't this team been able to why hasn't this team that has been perennial Super Bowl contenders been able to actually get it done, get to the big dance, right?
And you really thought that this was the year, right? It's like they take the next step,
like definitely contenders. They were like early season, contenders for sure. And then to look at it devolve into this is like, it's a situation where I can't quite look away. Like I'm still invested, obviously as a fan, but the team is kind of unwatchable right now because of how sloppy and heartless they're playing. So it's tough. They're crashing out, but real fans, you stick through it, you stick through it. So it is what it is.
Says you who didn't watch the game.
Well, because I was out with my family, dude. I was out with my family doing family activities. But I, was spending time with Natalie's father, so my father-in-law and Natalie and our little buddy. It was a lot of fun. We got to go out to lunch together, and I mean, on Saturday we went to Kennywood for the first time, which is a theme park in Pittsburgh. And it's like a historical. It's a historical theme park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Kennywood.
It's Kennywood. The movie Adventureland was filmed there with Ryan Reynolds, and it's been around since 1900.
West Mifflin.
West Mifflin. It's right outside Pittsburgh. Yeah, and it's got roller coasters and theme park rides and stuff like that. It's kind of
it's got a Steelers themed roller coaster.
It does, yeah. The Steel Curtain, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's it's very homey and kind of family oriented. It's cool. It's a cool vibe, and it was really neat to take our son there. I mean, he's 13 months old now. He's no longer an infant, and there were quite a few rides that you can't take an infant on, but
right.
He was just able to go on. There was this ride called the Old Mill, which is like literally the old mill has been around since like 1900. Like it is one of the oldest rides, like attractions in the country. And it basically like historically kind of is like this like make out ride for teenagers, right? Like you go, because it's dark, like it's a boat, right?
Did you ever,
the boat goes into the tunnel.
Did you ever?
No, but like the boat, it goes into the tunnel, and then you like come upon these different scenes that are like, skeletons doing funny stuff and like all that, right? So like
scare him.
I didn't realize like kind of what we were getting into. We got on it. I was like, oh, this is chill, right? And then like we're on there with it, and then like a skeleton pops out and there's like scary noises and stuff. And I'm like, hang on there, buddy. Like you're all right.
You're okay. You're safe.
He champed it out, dude. It was like his first real like amusement ride.
Yeah.
He'd been on merry-go-rounds before. Which we took him on like a real like nice old timey merry-go-round. That was awesome.
Yep.
We took him on the train. There was a train there.
Love a good train.
Love the train ride. That was great. He loved it. There was this car ride that kind of like, it's like you sit in the car. It's like an old timey race car that like auto drives like around a track. He did that with us. He loved it. And just walking around the park, seeing people, seeing like the roller coasters go by was really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I won him a prize at like the, like one of the little ball toss games. Like I won him a little Pokeball prize. Yeah. I'm a sucker for those. I just, I feel like it makes me feel good to win something.
Yeah. Yeah. And like,
yeah, that's right.
I still got
Dad won you a gift. Yeah. I used to win them for Natalie, but now the prizes go to our son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's funny. It's funny how that happens, right?
It is, yes. And so that was a lot of fun. So we did Kennywood, and cool. And then yesterday picked out a pumpkin, carved it, tried to do the picture where you like put the child in the pumpkin. Mm-hmm. As you know, he's way too big.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't even make it up to like his thighs.
Pumpkin. Yep.
Would have needed a pumpkin, that was like 4 foot in diameter. And then today I got to open 198 booster packs of Mega Evolution.
Dude,
the
that's
Pokemon Company
crazy.
International. Pokemon Company International. They send out product to people who have like influencers, right? Like people with YouTube channels and stuff like that. And I was lucky enough to get a care package from Pokemon for Mega Evolution, and but it was late. I mean, usually they try to send it out so that people have it like right on
release weekend or pre-release.
This was
weekend.
Like
I know.
weeks late, right?
Yeah.
So like so I'd been in contact with them about it and knew that it was going to be late. But then like kind of as like a consolation for it being late, they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, like if anybody who's getting a late package wants to like help us get the word out about this event in LA, we'll hook it up with like a little bit more." And I immediately, without even hesitating, I was just like, "Oh yeah, press send." Like, like whatever, dude. Like more product. Like you know how hard it is to get product these days. Like, yeah, dude. Whatever you say. Like, harmless little shill Pokemon posting. Sure. Yes, sir. And they sent me 4 booster boxes, 4 Elite Trainer boxes, and 3 bundles. And it was a lot of fun.
Stuff, man.
Streamed it today.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been, and like I said, I don't know. I said this on stream. I don't know that I can't remember the last time I've done an opening this big.
I mean, it must have been years ago now, right?
Probably the time I had one opening during the pandemic that I opened 100 Champions Path ETBs. Like, probably was that one. But those I was opening like 4 full grip games, so like that doesn't even really count.
I know,
like,
and I can't hold it against you, right? I can't hold it. Scalper. I couldn't even say it for that. But
no, yeah, dude. So this was pretty cool. I mean, I've done Japanese. I've done like 6 to 8 Japanese booster boxes. I've done like I think I did like 10 Prismatic Evolutions Japanese booster boxes, but those were different. Like I got those.
Yeah.
Still that was like $1,000 worth of product. Like this Mega Evolution stuff. Mega Evolution booster boxes are worth like $300 right now.
Does it bring out the inner child? Because I think if I were to get a booster box, right? Like if I get a booster box from a regional, or if I get loose packs from locals, those just go in a box. Like I'm just like
Mm.
not opening those. Those just go in the chest, the ever growing chest. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to touch this for 10 years.
You
right?
should, and you shouldn't, and you
Right.
shouldn't. No, and that's what I do with booster boxes that I win at events. But I am not Lucy's though. I can't keep Lucy's. I just like
Really?
we just crack those. I can't keep a like to
Dude,
me Lucy's
okay,
are pointless.
Loose. Well, I think you're actually onto something a little bit more, because I think as I get worried a little bit, or I've started to get a little bit worried about loose packs because of like scanning technology.
100%.
It's a little bit
Weighing,
hard.
scanning,
Yeah,
all
weighing.
that.
I mean, with the older stuff, obviously the weighing is.
There's just
much more
always a
of an
question
issue.
with loose packs. Always.
There's always a question, and it's not particularly widespread, but I've been getting rid of some of my loose packs because I'm kind of with you. It's like if it's a sealed booster box, that for sure. Unless I have some reason, like I, with the regional that I won, like you get I think 3 or 4. I decided to open one with my brother, and like that was really fun, right? But some of these old loose packs, like I sold some of, like I had just like random Fates Collide I could sell as like an art set. So I've just been getting rid of some of those, and some Evolutions packs, like art sets. I've just been kind of liquidating here recently because I'm kind of with you. It's like the loose packs are cool, but they're not as cool as they used to be.
Yeah, it's a good time to get rid of them. Stuff's like, there's no bad sealed product right now, right? Like it's all good. So it is what it is. But yeah, for these though, this was the first time that the Pokemon Company International ever sent influencers product that had the shrink wrap removed.
Yeah.
So usually you just get it sealed like anybody else would off a shelf. But this time, all the product had the shrink wrap removed. And I actually thought that was like, it's very smart.
Genius.
Pokemon
Yeah,
should,
genius. Very smart.
Pokemon should be doing that. I didn't feel any type of way about it because like I was gonna open these to show off on stream regardless. But that's Pokemon's intention. Like there's no rule book when Pokemon sends you gifted product. I mean, the idea of gifted product is that you could do with it what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't give you like you have to give us praise, you have to say the cards look nice, you have to like stream it. Like there's nothing like that because that's more like contractual. This is more like this is a gift.
Right.
There's no like exchange happening, right? It's just gifted and then you can do what you want. But the understanding I think should be that you're not going to resell the sealed product and do nothing with it, right? So like you could show it off, you can open it on stream, you can take pictures of it, you could give it away to your fans, but do not like
under
just
any
resell
circumstances.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
So like so I think that was really smart of them to take the shrink wrap off. I've heard of people's locals doing that, which I think is to me it's like I get it. But like, yeah, I don't know. But what if a collector wants to have like a sealed booster box for their shelf? You know, like
they can't do it.
I don't have a problem with that. Yeah,
they can't do it. Anyway, yeah, that's really fun. So, what were the hits? How did you feel like the pull rates were for this set?
Pull rates were cool
because I feel
like I was.
Yeah, I feel like for the set list, like in terms of a buy list, it's fairly short. Like there's not, and with the rotation, maybe that changes things, or that certainly will change things. But I think right now, in terms of playable cards, there's not a lot that you're really looking for.
I'll tell you exactly what I went through and pulled out, which basically ends up being like my buy list, right? Because I'll like bulk out the stuff that I don't need. But the stuff that I pulled out that I like would have wanted to keep, right? I'd want to keep like a couple of Kangaskhans. I want to keep like a couple of like 2 Venusaur EX.
Yeah,
just
like all
to,
the
like have
all the megas,
the cards like
right?
pretty good.
Yeah.
Like like 3 Lucario. Like just have those, right? I'd want a play set of the sumo catcher guy, Hariyama. I'd want at least a play set of both rocks, right? Which it was good. You want the Meganium line, like that card's just good. Gonna want like a a full 4/4 of that. And then the trainers, I mean, I want all the stadiums. Right? Like I'll play set of at least of all the stadiums. The even the one that like pings damage to darkness Pokemon, the psychic one that draws cards, like the water switchy beach thing. And they're all like cards that like, no, are these gonna be cards that are like broken right now? But like, no, but in a year I'm gonna be really mad if I have to go buy it. Like,
yes,
because you very well
100%.
like the cards have like a nice effect. Like they could very well be good, right? Yeah, the premium Power Pro, gotta have a couple play sets of those. Like the Fighting Gong, that's like a forever card. You're like, yup, I want all those. And then the Lily's Determinations. Like, yeah, dude, I got like a dozen Lily's Determinations. That was great. The art rares were really nice. I felt like we hit like a decent amount of art rares. I ended up finding the Marshadow, which apparently is getting juiced right now to like $50 or something. Like
I thought it was closer to 80, but yeah.
I heard 80 too, 80, 50, something like that. I mean, it's all like kind of fake, right? Because if someone's like doing a pump,
well, it's all fake. I mean, the thing about card pumping is that as long as there's a good story to tell, then that's what drives the the value, right? So you have the Marshadow that has the little Pikachu cameo, and I think that's cool. Like it's, it makes sense. I don't know. The value makes sense to an extent.
Yeah, it's got a nice looking card too. It's not just like a random, nice looking card with a Pikachu cameo. It's pretty cool. Marshadow's like a pseudo legendary too, or something.
Really?
Right? Like something like that.
I'm
pretty sure he's like a mythical or something.
Really?
Yeah. Let's pull that up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the different type like.
You don't know anything, do you?
Well, no. Like I know, like Dragonite's like a legendary, right?
Or like Dragonite is a pseudo legendary.
Yeah. Or that's what I meant. A pseudo legendary, right? It's like Dragonite, Salamence, Aggron, right? Rayquaza. Like these are all kind of the pseudo legendaries.
Yeah.
And then you have things like what? Marshadow, Celebi, Fion.
Yeah, Marshadow has no egg group and is the last Pokemon in the Alola Pokedex. He's got to be like he's a mythical. Yeah, fighting ghost mythical Poke. He's mythical.
What's a mythical?
You have to get it through like a I don't freaking know, man.
Well, you seemed like you knew and you looked it up.
I am looking it up, but I can't. I'm at the extent of my knowledge here. Okay, I'm a trading card game guy. All right, all I know is that it doesn't matter. What I'm saying, he's a mythical Pokemon. There's a Pikachu cameo. It makes sense. It's got a nice artwork. Mythical, makes sense that it would be an expensive card.
Bro's got no idea.
And then, but the Marshadow, that card's really good. And it's funny. The Marshadow is actually like really good in Gym Leader Challenge.
I was thinking about this too, because like.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're taking knockouts, like this dude can basically be like a 200 or 300. It can deal 200 or 300 damage, over the course of its, existence.
While denying knockouts.
Right. While denying knockouts.
That's like the big thing, know. So yeah, he's a little menace. It's one of those cards where there's some discussion happening in the Gym Leader Challenge community right now. Like, is it too strong? Is it broken? And I think the answer is no, but like discussion's good. Mm-hmm. It's just a card that you have to think about.
Water decks need to be playing Iron Bundle, man.
You just or like
and
Fion,
like Escape Rope,
right?
Fion,
Fion just like goes to the bottom of the deck, right? There's a lot of different things that you can do to take care of it. There are shred attackers that just go through all effects. You can push it to the bench and then knock it out on the bench. But it is such a powerful card that you do have to kind of like think about it. Similar to like a Wailord, like decks, when you're building a competitive Gym Leader Challenge deck, you have to think about Wailord because it's just like one of those cards. Like, how do I deal 240 damage? Because inevitably I'm going to encounter a Wailord, right? And that's kind of like the kind of card that Marshadow and Ogie Dogie are in fighting is like, okay, well, what am I going to do about Marshadow and Ogie Dogie? Because inevitably I'm going to probably see those guys, right? And it's not like they have no counterplay. Mm-hmm. You just have to use the counterplay effectively.
Sure.
So it's I think there's like a lot of decent stuff in the set. The Lily's Determination's obviously like the big one. It's gonna upend all of the deck building. It's gonna make early game consistency just that much higher for so many decks. I mean, your evolution based decks being able to just go to 8 early in the game, like Arvin or go to 8, like
Yeah.
both are pretty good. Both
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, that's good. Well, cool. That's pretty awesome. And yeah, obviously getting some hits, that's cool. You'll, be able to feel like you'll play them in decks and you'll feel guilt free. Right?
Dude, I got both lilies, awesome. Man.
I know.
I got both lilies. I got the secret art lily and a full art lily. And if my deck at Milwaukee plays lily, I want to play them in the deck. So,
yeah. Well,
yeah, it's we'll see.
Speaking of Milwaukee, let's get into the meat of our episode here. So we are going to be taking the rest of the episode to discuss the Milwaukee metagame as we see it. Andrew will be representing the cast along with Riley at the Milwaukee Regional Championships that are happening this weekend. And so I want to kind of pick your brain, Andrew. I know you've put some time into testing, which is really cool. I know I shouldn't be that shocked, but you're this is a mid-season event that you're preparing for, and so I'm excited to kind of see where your head's at. I think a lot of the listeners will know that I've been pushing a Grim Snarl agenda. I think that deck is very well poised in the current meta, but I'm kind of curious. We haven't really worked directly one-to-one, just maybe sharing some ideas here and there. But I'm kind of curious to hear where your head's at in terms of the format heading into Milwaukee.
Yeah, so this is like kind of an interesting place for me to be as a competitive player, right? Like, I'm a dad now. I kind of like am a veteran player who's been in the game for a long time, but I kind of will I will dial in and then dial back out, and then dial in and then dial back out, right? And for the 10 block years that I was just like dialed in, it was just all in constantly all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like always looking to the next regional, always looking to the next event, always, grinding something new. But now it's like, okay, well, I kind of dialed in for NAIC a little bit, mm-hmm. and fell in love with Raging Bolt, perfect Pokemon TCG deck, awesome. And I learned how to play it like throughout NAIC. So like that was cool. Got a lot of reps with it. Mm-hmm. and so like naturally that's like my point of entry coming into this next format. I'm like, all right, well, where's Raging Bolt at, right? Like, can I just play that? Right? And I did a stream last week where I was just kind of grinding TCG live.
Yep.
And I wanted to like play Bolt, but then I was like, Jesse, play this new Goldango Rocks deck against me with Bolt. And if like Bolt can't beat that, then Bolt is a very unserious deck.
Yeah.
And the thing is that Goldango Rocks kind of just does the Bolt thing better than Bolt does now, which is like really strange, but it does. And the thing that I used to love about Raging Bolt was that you could lead Fan Rotom, or mm-hmm. like mm-hmm. the baby Raging Bolt as like early single prize attackers, and then you were backing up those single prize attackers with like big Pokemon that would just one hit KO anything. Mm-hmm. So like you could very easily map your prize trade. I'm going single prize attacker when it's time to go single prize attacker. I'm going 2 prize attacker, one hit KOing things when it's time to do that. And so long as I use like good fundamentals about when to attack with who, mapping out my 6 prizes, saving my gust cards for the right moments, I should like win most of my games. Like, sure. If I just do that, execute that game plan correctly.
Sure.
And like now, the thing about it is that Raging Bolt, you have to have a Terra Pokemon in play in order to activate Noctowl. Mm-hmm. So like you always have that 2 prizer there first. But Goldango Solrock doesn't. Like, you just don't have to. You can just play a board with Gimme Ghouls, Lunatone, and Solrock, and that's it. And you can just lead the charge with a Solrock and just take single prize knockouts. In fact, like, Goldango Solrock mirrors just, like, devolve into, like, players just poking each other with Solrock for as long as possible, not being the first person to put a 2-prizer into play.
Yep.
So, it's like, Goldango kind of has that same Raging Bolt strategy now with the single prizer edition of the Soul Rock, and you can kind of play that game better than Raging Bolt because you don't have to have your liabilities in play while you're playing the single prize game. Whereas Raging Bolt always had to have 2 prizers in play while you're attacking with like Fan Rotom or Raging Bolt, because inevitably you would have had to put a Terra down to use Noctowl. That's just like kind of how the deck works.
Sure.
So I kind of, once I realized that Raging Bolt was going to lose to Goldengo consistently, I expect Goldengo to be one of the most popular decks at Milwaukee, because it was one of the most popular decks at our release weekend event, the full group event. It performed very well.
Well, it's just fun. It's just fun and good, right? It's just fun and good. Yep. And I think that's something that a lot of players are looking for. Right.
And there's no stage 2s in it, right?
There's no stage 2s. I think like low to the ground, fun and good.
Your Lugia players, the kind of people that were playing Lugia V-Star, they're going to play Goldengo.
Yes.
The kind of people that were playing Raging Bolt, they're also playing Goldengo. Those kinds of players are all playing like Goldengo now, okay? That is the deck. That is like in that sphere of existence.
Yep.
And then you've got like your stage 2 people, right, who are all playing like your Dragapult or your Guardy or your Grimmsnarl, because like those are the other decks, right? Like it's like you're either playing like Goldengo or you're playing one of these stage 2 decks that is like got a lot more going on and can be more frustrating to play.
Yep.
So there's a lot to love about the Goldengo Soul Rock deck. So I got into that and kind of was like learning the mirror, learning my matchups, like figuring out how you route things against like Grimmsnarl, what you do about Jellicent, all that. And then inevitably, you get your butt kicked by a Ceruledge deck, playing Goldengo. And then you got to start thinking about like, well, Ceruledge is like pretty similar to Goldengo. You're just a stage 1 beat stick, and you've got the Lunatone and Soul Rock all the same, except like your damage output is maybe like a tick slower to ramp than Goldengo's, I would say. Like on turn 2 with Ceruledge, you're probably hitting like 200-ish damage. And then like turn 3, you're hitting like 300-ish, in that ballpark. 3, 4, you're up at the 300s range, right? Which is like where you need to be to hit like your big one-hit chaos.
Yeah.
You have a little bit less flexibility because Ceruledge doesn't draw cards, but you have the Briar factor against Goldengo decks.
Briar's huge.
It's really good. Yeah. You also, I think, like the Ceruledge deck plays really well against control decks too. Like you happen to play against any of those control. You got the Jet Energies. Which is really good.
Huge. Yep.
Like you don't care about Cornerstone at all.
You don't care about Cornerstone. Because, like, you don't care about
literally
Badoo.
Destroy that thing. You don't care about Badoo. It's kind of like Ceruledge. I was taking shots at Ceruledge on stream last Wednesday, being like, that is completely unserious. But the more I kind of got into the tank with Goldengo, I was like, I see why people like Ceruledge. It's very similar to Goldengo, except like you don't get disrupted as bad later on because you can't get like item locked out of the game with like your superiors.
Yeah.
And you have the Briar factor to like make these comeback plays, and you have the Jet Energy, which makes you just like that kind of impervious to those control strategies so long as you don't play like a doofus.
Yeah.
And it's there's a lot to like there. So like that's something that I've also been like just kind of messing around with and thinking about. I can't help but like kick the thought in my head that Ceruledge is like very unserious, but also there is something there that I find attractive. As far as like the Guardy, Grimmsnarl, and Dragapult decks go, they just don't. The stage 2 that I was most interested in pursuing was Charizard.
Yeah, I can't reconcile Charizard. I mean, you get the Psyduck, but it's amazing how far that deck has fallen from grace, right?
Crazy,
like we think about, 6 months, a year ago, like Charizard was just the deck, and then here we are, and it just feels like you're having to make these big leaps to justify playing a Charizard deck right now.
Yeah, I know. I wanted, because I was like, Charizard, it should be good, right? Like, because in a meta where Goldengo and Guardy are popular, it's like you should beat Goldengo handily with Chi-Yu. You should beat guardy handily because you hit for weakness and you're big and you've got Pidgeot, and it should just be like the most consistent. It should be the most consistent stage 2 deck. But it just isn't.
But and I think the like against Goldengo Rocks, right? Like most of your basics are 70 HP Pokemon or less, right?
You can lose to Goldengo.
You can lose to Goldengo Rocks because they just
when I lost to Goldengo Rocks. Exactly. I lost to Goldengo Rocks one time, and I was like,
it's not like the most common thing to happen. Like you can obviously retreat into something with more HP, or outspeed them, or still beat them in the prize trade. But I think that's a major factor. Is like last format. Pre a one prize attacking option for Goldengo on the first turn of the game, you could maybe make that argument, or I guess you did make that argument for playing Charizard. It's like it beats Goldengo. You have the Chi, you can offset the prize trade, and now you jump ahead to this format. That's not necessarily the case. I still don't think the matchup is all that bad, but it's definitely not a free matchup for you as the Charizard player.
It's not as good as it was.
Yeah.
It's not as good as it was. They get that 70 hit point punch. Yep. They can play a single prize board.
Yep.
Goldengo just becomes a much more versatile deck than it used to be. Much more interesting deck, in my opinion, than it used to be. Being able to toggle between those single prize and two prize attackers.
Yep.
That to me makes the deck way more interesting. That's what I liked about Raging Bolt, and that is now what I like about Goldengo. It's a good fundamentals deck, right? Like I'm going to attack with the right guy on the right turn. I'm going to map my turns accordingly. And if I play tight, like I'll probably win most of my games because like I just am doing the right things at the right time, and like it has enough options to where I'm not just pigeonholed into attacking with a 2-prizer every single turn, which is like what Goldengo was doing previously. It's like doesn't matter if like my opponent's got 2 prizes left, like it's got to be it's got to be this guy in the active, right? So it now I did do a lot of mental gymnastics and kind of like tooling around because I really like Solrock and Lunatone. Just as Pokemon, I feel like they're good, they're aggressive, they got a nice draw, right? But like, is Goldengo the best deck at utilizing Solrock and Lunatone? Is Ceruledge the best deck? Is there some other strategy, right, that could better utilize Solrock and Lunatone? Maybe even allow you to play more than a single Premium Power Pro, because like some Goldengo lists are playing like one Premium Power Pro.
That's cute.
To be able to like sneak in a little 110 pop, right? Like you can knock out things like Monkey Dory or Mirror, right? Yeah. Because you can Arven into it with the Vitality Band, just hit the right number.
Yep.
And the more I thought about it, it's like, no, actually, like Goldengo just is the perfect deck to utilize the rocks. Because what do you want, right? Like you want to be able to attack with Soul Rock as early as turn 1, right? So that means that you're going to have to, by nature, you're playing an Arven-based deck because you have to be able to pivot whatever you have in the active, you have to pivot it to a rock turn 1.
Yep.
You have to play it. That basically pigeonholes you into playing an Arven-style deck because, like, the only way to consistently get a dude into the active spot turn 1 is to, like, play Arven. So you're playing an Arven-style deck, and then, like, what do you want after turn 1? Like, what are we transitioning? What's the ideal thing for a Soul Rock deck to also have the option to do? Well, probably one-hit KO everything. It's like probably like what's better? What is better than that, right?
Yep.
And it's just like, no, Goldengo Soul Rock is like the epitome of exactly what this is trying to do, right? Like I have a single prize attacker. I can also one-hit KO everything. I have a 2-prizer one-hit KOs everything. I have a single prizer that takes little knockouts. That's the deck, right? It's kind of like it's kind of just is what it is. There's only enough deck space to like play maybe one Premium Power Pro. You wish you could play more, but you just really can't, while keeping the deck consistent. And that kind of just is what it is. It's either that or Ceruledge. Those are they kind of have like the same kind of mission statement, right? Like I have a 2-prizer that one-hit KOs everything. I have a single prizer that takes cheap knockouts and offsets the prize trade. It's like one of those two. And I think that's why we've seen no one really talking about or playing Mega Lucario because it's just not as good as like what these 2-prizers are offering.
Sure, yeah, and I think the matchup data backs you up a little bit. With Ceruledge, you're kind of maybe sussing that out as to whether or not that's real. I think you look at the last 3 weeks of online tournaments, and again, not the entire story, but you're looking at a fairly even to slightly favorable matchup for pretty much everything Saralege, save for, I guess, the Alakazam matchup, the Pidgeot control matchup, but by and large everything else is, very much 50-50, and that's largely the same for Goldengo. You have a little bit more polarizing matchups. Gardevoir has historically been a strong matchup for Goldengo. Now that you're playing 4 boss, I would expect that to be, in that 60-40 range. Losing to a few things like obviously Saralege, Alakazam, Pidgey, Control, these kinds of decks, but by and large just 50-50 into the bulk of the meta game. So yeah, I mean, these kinds of low to the ground stage 1 attacking decks I expect to be pretty prominent factors in Milwaukee, right? You're talking about like who would play this kind of deck. Yeah, I agree. Like Raging Bolt is definitely on a downtrend overall. I don't think that there's anything that Raging Bolt offers that Saralege and or Goldengo can't do just a little bit better right now. So I feel like, yeah, those are players that will migrate over to that archetype. And so, yeah, these are kind of like the beat stick decks, I guess you could say, heading into Milwaukee. Contrast that with the stage 2s. We kind of eliminated Charizard as being something that we would recommend you play, although Charizard heads, I mean, this is the time, right? You finally got your Psyduck, and so you're probably feeling at least somewhat better against the Dragapult Dusknoir decks. But Dragapult Dusknoir, Gardevoir in its many variations, and Grimmsnarl. I look at Grimmsnarl and I just say, my goodness, man. I think the matchups are there to have another deep run. If you're a Grimmsnarl head, I think you're liking what you're seeing by and large. Got some negative matchups into Goldengo. I think it's maybe not quite as bad.
No, that matchup is so free for Goldengo, bro. Anytime I'm playing against a Grimmsnarl with Goldengo, I'm like, I'm about to farm. And I do. Because I've got the freaking pick. I got the picnic basket.
And you got Tutoro? Yeah, I beat that. I beat that at Pittsburgh.
No,
I think it's probably
40% of the time.
I think it's probably better. I think it's probably a better matchup for Grimmsnarl now than it was with the eSearch Pro. Because you can go in with a quick Grimmy and take knockouts, and you're not threatened, right?
It's harder to hit 320 on turn 2.
It's harder, for sure. or 300, right? Or get 7 energy, right? Well, whatever it is. Because you're generally using your first attachment.
But then I got Tutoro. I've won games where I missed that knockout. For sure I do, because I've got Boss. Right, so like I could just go pick off something.
Yeah.
On that early turn, if you come in with coming in hot with a big old Grimmy, I've got 4 Boss in the deck. I've got a bundle. Like I could push around that thing. Save you for next turn.
Right.
I've got multiple Turo. Like it's I don't know. It's at least interesting. It's close. I think the Grim players will say that they could do it, and the Goldengo players will say that they could do it.
So you're looking at those as maybe negative matchups, and then Raging Bolts, I mean, it's just a grass attacker, so I would expect that to be pretty rough. But by and large, I mean, everything is in that 50-50 to, pretty favorable, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's a cool thing. Yeah, I'm really high on Grimmsnarl. I'm actually writing a Metafy guide right now. If you're listening to this podcast, that you can go out and purchase over on Metafy for Grimmsnarl, kind of talking about how it performed at Pittsburgh, why I feel like it's going to be good heading into the Mega Evolution format, and why it's a good call, particularly for Milwaukee. I don't foresee the meta shifting all that much from Pittsburgh to Milwaukee. I mean, even though we have a new set, there's not really a ton of new archetypes. We maybe talk about, this Alakazam deck. We talk about like a Venusaur deck, a Lucario deck, but by and large, I don't think those are shifting the meta. One deck, though, that is rising in popularity is the Gardevoir Jellicent deck. We've seen this at Pittsburgh be, a very dominant deck, especially in day 2, especially among the top players. Just looking at online results, I mean, you got to imagine that there's, with such a technical deck as Gardevoir generally, and with a deck that has so many lines like Gardevoir Jellicent does, you got to imagine that these matchup percentages are somewhat deflated. But this is a deck that's on the rise. I think a lot of good players are going to be playing some variant of Gardevoir. and likely Gardevoir Jellicent. So how nervous are you, Andrew, about this all game item lock that that Gardevoir Jellicent provides? I know you're not going to play Gardevoir, so are you considering this deck at all when you're making your either deck choice or tech card inclusions?
Oh yeah, I want to have a game plan for item lock for sure.
Yeah.
Don't want to be a deck that just like folds to your opponent getting item lock established. That's something that I really like about the Goldengo deck, having 4 bosses orders, bundle. I'm playing 2 Artisan in that deck too, so that's 2 non-item outs to a bundle.
Yep.
Like, just break that, like let's get that thing out of here. You got the Vitality Band too, so if you're getting like turn 1 hit with a little jelly, you could go Arven Vitality Band.
Yeah, super good for the Frillish. Yep.
Yeah, knock out the Frillish, right? So like, you gotta have, you can't disrespect the Jellicent. Like, you have to, that 4th boss, that's not a cut. Like, that can't go. There's certain cards that I would want to keep in my deck to make sure that I had a decent matchup against it. But that being said, like, I am not like overly worried about it. I feel like Gardevoir Jellicent's not going to be like a huge percentage of the field. I feel like it's like going to be at most half of all Guardy players. Like, how much is Guardy? Like, what percentage is Guardy going to be? Maybe 15. Like,
yeah, it was the most played deck. Yeah, it was the most played deck in Pittsburgh. So, and then you also want to think about you're looking at it was, I think, 15%.
15, so you're looking at like 7% of the field, maybe.
Yeah, but then you're looking
like
at the
Jelly.
better players, right? Like now take all the 1-0 players, and what's the percentage of 1-0 players that are playing Gardevoir Jellicent? And what are the percentage of 2, you know what I mean? Like, the later on you get into a tournament, I think the more likely you are to hit a Gardevoir Jellicent. So
but you have to get to the later on first.
Obviously.
And then look at these Guardy Jelly matchups, dude. Like, I don't know, what if the Guardy Jelly player hits like some Cerulege idiot who has no idea what they're doing and absolutely wallops them, Like, they got to have those concerns too. That's just called going to a tournament, right? Like, if you look at the Gardevoir Jellicent matchup spread there's a lot of red, dude. Yeah. Like, you're going to have to.
Yeah, I mean, these are, again.
You're running the gauntlet to try and get into day 2.
This doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't tell the whole story, but there's some idea you can glean from the.
So the way that I look at it is that if you make your deck decision solely based off of trying to counter the players that you're going to see in day 2, then you might just miss your chance to even get there in the first place. So like, you lose 100% of the opportunities that you don't get to take. So like, if you miss all the shots you don't take, right? So like, you got to get to the dance first. You got to get into day 2 first, and then
you got to get to day. As I've always said, you got to get to day 2 to make day 2.
There you go. Got to get to day 2 to make day 2. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So like, so am I worried about the random Guardy Jelly I might see in day 2? No, I have a plan. It is what it is. I'll have a plan. I'm planning on taking like solid, fat Dookie L's to like, item lock.
So okay, so it sounds like you're locked on Goldengo then.
For me right now, like, seriously, the top 2 decks I'm considering are Goldengo and Cerulege for sure.
Really, there's no like other secret deck perhaps that you may have.
I'm definitely still exploring. I'm definitely still exploring options.
Yeah.
And but I have to have, at this point, Milwaukee is this weekend. Like, I have to have a couple of decks that I just feel confident going in with. If the tournament was tomorrow, I could play either Goldengo or Cerulege, and I would feel very confident. I've got enough reps with them.
Sure.
I know the tech.
Yeah,
and
that's like sequencing. Those are 2 decks like sequencing 101, right? It's just gonna experience is gonna save you. You're gonna get a couple of warm up rounds to really kind of get into it.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, looking down the line here, okay, the other deck that I was kind of like giving some time was like Charizard. Don't like that.
Yeah, that deck sucks.
Yeah. And then like looking at decks like Gardevoir, Dragapult, and even Grimmsnarl, it's like, I am not, I don't see enough in those decks to make me want to hop off the decks that I am more like aligned with to like convert me to those decks, right? There's nothing about those decks that are like jumping off the page at me and being like, oh, well, I have to play this deck as opposed to these other decks that I like. Like if you look at the matchup spreads for decks like Goldango and like Ceruledge, I'm very comfortable with those decks. And they have fine matchup spreads. And like I'll probably pilot them quite well. So like are you going to be able to convince me at this point that like Grimmsnarl, Gardevoir, or Dragapult has like some sort of factor in it that is worth me completely ditching the decks that I know better and like is worth trying to relearn in 4 days? I'm not saying it's impossible to convince me, but I would need convinced is where I'm at. Like
you don't think you're a good enough player?
100% I am. But like there are a lot of really good players that are playing a lot of games right now.
Yeah. That's
you know,
true.
There's a lot of really good players that are doing a lot of testing. It's out of respect for there's a lot of really good Gardevoir players that have been playing Gardevoir for like over a year. Yeah. There's a lot of really good Dragapult players that have been playing Dragapult for over a year. There's a lot of really good Grimmsnarl players that have been playing Grimmsnarl for like 6 months. Like I would have to like really be compelled, I think, to want to like hop in the mix with that, right? With like your real Guardy heads, like your real Dragapult heads, like your people who are just like gung-ho, play nothing else, know every single count in Dragapult, exactly why every card is here. Like, you know, am I going to want to like try and do a deep dive and like hash that out? Like I said, like, and I would be willing to. I'm a good enough player to like learn it, but I would have to be like convinced.
Yeah.
You'd have to sell me on it, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort.
It is a lot of effort. It is a lot
of effort. And like, what's the payoff, right? The payoff is that I spend less time grinding out the decks that I'm already a little bit more confident in. So why don't I just keep leaning that way?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I mean, perhaps a new secret deck might rear its ugly head within the friend group. There's been a little bit of discussion, but obviously no leaks, right? We promised Jesse. I know he's sweating right now listening to this episode. So
well, yes, the Discord is
Discord's on fire. Yes.
Discord's on fire this week with like secret last minute, funny decks that are like getting tossed around. Those are secret last minute funny decks getting tossed around of various degrees of seriousness.
I gotta say, it's been a minute since this kind of excitement has happened. I feel like I can't remember the last time the Discord has been this like excited about a concept this late into a tournament prep cycle.
It's kind of fun, right? It's kind of fun. Well, things get min-maxed so heavy in the Pokemon trading card game right now, and it feels like all the decks get figured out so quickly that when you like think that maybe there's something that isn't, maybe on everybody's radar that is like maybe an X Factor play, like that is really exciting because you're like, whoa, dude, like, I mean, Japan's played this format already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've had months.
Right. They've had months with it. Like, is there really something else that could be like uncovered here?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is maybe. like maybe there is. Maybe there's a little bit more to Mega Evolution than meets the eye. So we'll see. But it's Ceruledge and Goldango are my comfort plays right now. Those are the decks that I'm like. Those are my 1-2 that I'm like very comfortable playing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Death to Raging Bolts. Terror Box is like the other deck that I kind of wanted like on Wednesday as I'm like kind of hashing out like my final, day of like full testing on TCG Live. Like I probably want to play a little Terror Box just to kind of like mess around with it.
Yeah, I don't know. You talk about all those decks that you don't want to, you want to lean into putting more time into. Like, I feel like Terror Box is just, in terms of trying to put that together in a week, that seems highly unlikely to be able to do that.
I don't know.
I mean, I get
deck,
yeah,
like Raging Bolt was.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like
how hard can it be? You put the Terra into play. You play Crispin, bro. Like every turn, what am I gonna do? Crispin. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna Crispin.
I think you like I feel like
on it on my Crispin again.
I feel like you underestimate the amount of one-ofs in the deck that you have to keep track of over the course of the game. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying like it to me I get overwhelmed.
Entirely one-ofs.
Okay. All right, fair enough. But many will say that you're not even in like the top 10 players of the format that you created. And that might be a fun debate, but we'll save that for another episode.
Yeah, well, it's like asking about like, is Michael Jordan only as good as the last game he ever played?
Right.
No, right. Like it's like, yeah, you could probably go beat up on Michael Jordan right now. Cool, man. Like that's sick, dude. Like, yeah, man. This is what it is. Not really worried about all that, right? Like,
yeah, all the chatter. That's all
chatter,
the legacy
bro.
talk. All the legacy talk that I see. Yeah.
Chatter.
Anyway, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, hey, I'm not going to Milwaukee. I don't think that there's really anything for the group to worry about. I'm expecting multiple cash finishes from you, Riley, Jesse, etc. Right? I think it'll be a fun time for you guys this weekend. Wish I could be there. Got some other plans this weekend, but obviously, best of luck. I think this is going to be a bit of a shorter episode for today. Any final thoughts you have, Andrew, as you get ready for Milwaukee?
Nah, dude. Nah, I mean, honestly, I think there are like, I really think there are like a handful of good decks that you could pick from.
Yep.
As you can kind of see with like my thought process in like choosing the deck for an event. I feel like there's a lot of people probably will relate to the kind of thought process that I have. Like, these are the kinds of decks and strategies that I like. These are the ones that I feel most comfortable with right now. Let's just lean into it. It's not like it's a bad play. Like, just lean into the deck and the strategy that you like.
Yep.
There are a handful of good decks. Like, lean into the one that you vibe the most with and like learn your lines and play it well, right? And that's probably going to be the best recipe for success, is to just minimize mistakes, right?
Absolutely. And if nothing else, play Grimmsnarl. That would be my recommendation, but that may be antithetical to what you've been talking about. In any case, if you liked today's episodes, please make sure to like and subscribe if you're over on YouTube, and leave us a rate and review if you are on any of your favorite podcasting platforms. You can find us over on YouTube if you're an audio-only listener, and vice versa. So please make sure to check us out on all of the different platforms. You can also find us on X, at Real John Walter for myself, at Enjoy Friend for Andrew, and at Tag Team Pokemon for the podcast. We thank you guys all so much for listening, and we will catch you next week. See ya.